What up, everybody? This is Pastor Jay with your mountain moving moment of faith. Is glad to be back here, and I'm just excited about today's motivation. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Let everybody know what's going on in mountain moving moments in this special time. Like I said, I'm glad to be back. I'm trying to get this sun out of the out of here. All right. Well, like I said, I'm glad to be back. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share. Let people know what's going on Mount Moving Moments. Let's get right into it. I'm glad to be back. Mark 11:22-23. Have faith in God. For whoever should say to this mountain, be removed, be cast into the sea. And don't doubt in your heart, but believe that the things which you say will happen, you will have whatever you say. I'm coming today to talk to you about really a motivational teaching on the revelation of how to really move mountains in your life. The mountain can be in an adversity, it can be a circumstance, a situation, it can be a sickness, a bondage, whatever it is. I'm letting you know that in order for you to move that mountain out of your life, you're going to have to understand your authority, a revelation of your authority in Christ. Look at that. Your revelation of authority in Christ. The Bible talks about that we are seated with him in the heavenly realms in Christ Jesus. So this is the key to move that mountain in your life. It could be a sickness, it could be a disease, it could be an addiction. If you understand where you are seated, and you might say, you know what, I'm seated right now in a physical realm. Yeah, that's your body, but your spirit positionally is seated with Christ in the heavenly realms, seated with him. That means you have been enthroned. That means you have supernatural authority. That means you have power. That means you are royalty. You have supreme authority. But you have to be able to understand spiritually where you're seated so you can look down on the things in the natural. Let me say that again. You got to know where you're seated spiritually to look on things on a downward for the things that's in the natural. In other words, if I'm seated on a throne in heavenly places, sickness that's on earth, bondage that's on earth, uh, um um disease that's on earth, offense that's on earth, no matter what it is on earth, when you know that you are seated and you have a revelation of where you're at, then you know that you are in a higher place, which means you're supposed to have a revelation that you are looking down on that situation. You got to look down on that sickness. You got to look down on that mountain. You got to look down on that bondage. And when you look down on a thing, you are letting that thing know that you have superiority over that thing. Let me tell you something. Anything superior can break and shatter anything that's inferior. Let me tell you something. Your authority that you have in Christ is superior. So when you understand that, you begin to look down on that situation. You begin to look down on that lack and poverty. You begin to look down on the things that's been plaguing your life. And when you begin to look down on that thing, that's when you use your authority and order that thing to go. Order that thing to be destroyed. Order that thing to bow down and submit to a superior authority in Christ Jesus. So let me tell you something. He that is in you is greater than him that's in the world. Let me tell you something. You have the ability to command and to order the mountains in your life to be removed. But you can't be walking around saying, man, that thing is too big for me. That thing, how am I going to overcome that thing? You know, this thing is too great. It's too much pressure. I'm overwhelmed. When you begin to speak those things out of your mouth, because obviously they're in your heart, you give the mountain advantage over your life. But the days of mountains having advantage over your life are over. The mountain is not bigger than you because the mountain is not bigger than Christ. I want you to list all those mountains in your life, and I want you to put them at your feet. And I want you to stand over the list of those mountains. And then I want you to look down on them. And I want you to point to them. And I want you to command those things to break, to shatter, to be dismissed out of your life. Because when you stand over that thing, you will understand that your revelation of authority is that you are seated high. You're seated with God. And when you're seated with him, nothing can stop you. You can move a mountain just like that, your authority in Christ. I'm glad to be back, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in today. Build up your authority. Build up your revelation of authority and keep living by faith because you are supreme and you have authority in Christ Jesus. God bless y'all.